Destiny's Children. I found my granddaughter in John Lewis. I'm not a snob, and I wouldn't have minded if she came from the pound shop or Lidl, but she didn't. She was in the Oxford Street John Lewis women's clothes section, in a pram in between Jigsaw and Hobbs, and there was no one with her at all. I made faces at her for a while to keep her happy, played peekbo in between the cashmere jumpers, and pretended to sneeze, but we were both getting bored, and still she hadn't been claimed. I'm good with babies. In any other age, I'd have been sat in a corner somewhere knitting, with grandchildren on my lap and a fire to warm my knees. But I was born in the golden age of rock and roll. I still wear size 8 jeans from Topshop and sleep with at least one new man a month, usually from the internet. I live alone in a penthouse flat, and my only daughter does something in Silicon Valley, something inexplicable to do with picturing the exact size of items when shopping online. She froze her eggs years ago, and by the time she defrosts them, I'll be dead. Nothing more than a photo on a computer, a virtual grandma. So I'm afraid that when I saw Alberta, I was unable to resist helping myself. After all, if her mother or father or grandmother or nanny had wanted to keep her, they would hardly have left her alone in such a public place, would they? And she liked me. I could tell that she did. She held her chubby arms out towards me, and she offered me a turn of the small penguin she was holding. There was no clue to her name in the old-fashioned silver cross pram, so we chose a new one together. I was prepared to follow the alphabet through to Xanthi, Yolanda and Zulika, if necessary, but she waved and cooed at Alberta, so that was just fine with me. I found out later from the newspaper report that her name had actually been Daisy, but Alberta suited her much better, so I stuck with it. I'd lived in Canada for a while when I was younger, and it's nice for children to have links with their heritage. What about her poor mother, I expect you're thinking? Wasn't she terribly upset and bereft and all that sort of thing? I guess she was at first. I have to admit that she was, at least for a while. She gave interviews on TV wearing designer sunglasses and dabbing at her nose. But she had another baby the next year and wrote a best-selling book about the whole experience that made her a lot of money. She knew by then, you see. She knew that Alberta was safe and being looked after. I sent word via a third party and a substantial amount of cash and promised to hand her over if either of them got too upset. Thank you very much, she said in the note that she sent back to me. I was actually finding life quite difficult and the baby seemed to have insomnia. Also, she hated my personal trainer and misbehaved on long-haul flights, so I'm happy for her to stay with you as long as no one ever finds out. That's sorted then, Bertie, I said. Looks like it's just you and me. She giggled and crawled off to examine the paints I'd laid out in the corner to encourage her creativity. I'd installed a white clean area over the floor and halfway up the walls, so whatever mess she made didn't matter. I photographed it each day and planned to put together a mural of photographs showing her development. My friends were green with envy. They came round more often, drawn by Bertie's youth and gorgeousness, as if it might rub off on them. They held her reverently, as if she was a religious relic, or the last surviving baby in the world. The future of the human race depends on this little poppet and her friends, said Maria. I thought that she said prophet for a moment. I had known Maria vaguely before Bertie, but never as a close friend. She visited often now, and this time she had brought an expensive bear and tales of how she hoped her son would settle down soon. He's gay, she said, but quite settled with his partner, and they have a dog. That's a good sign, isn't it, having a dog? I loved that they thought I might be some kind of oracle, someone who might know about such things. Did your daughter have a dog before she had this sweet little thing? I smiled in a sad way to show that no, my daughter had not dabbled in canine ownership before launching into motherhood. Yeah, I had told everyone that Alberta was my daughter's child.